Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Mono Black, and the list we are going to be playing is what is on screen here, but I want to show who has been playing the list if I can grab the right page and bring it over, because they have done very well with the list so far. So as you can see, other than these ads, YouTube and ads, you know, you're on YouTube, but here's YouTube TV if you'd like. But the list that they're currently playing, they went 91 and 55. It is this player right here. I do not know how to pronounce that, so I'm not going to try. But 91 and 55 on a 62% win rate, which is very good. And you can see kind of their latest rendition, which is what we end up playing, is 88% win rate on the play and 64 on the draw, which is incredible, going 28 and 10. Very low amount of games overall when you're talking like this is the deck I'm going to commit to or something like that. But as you can see, very high win rate on the play and just about 50-50 on the draw, which is very good. If you can be 50-50 on the draw and have a lot of win rate on the play, then you're going to be climbing. And as you can see, they climbed all the way to Mythic with this deck. So we're going to be running it into the ground. If you want to know kind of the game plan, or you don't know the game plan, a lot of it revolves around Slasher, Bloodletter, and Unholy Annex. This is kind of a synergy that's been out since Duskmorn kind of came out in Ixalan. But basically, Slasher says, whenever I hit an opponent, we take half their life total rounded down, I believe. No, rounded up. And then Bloodletter says double that. So if they're at 20, this will hit them to 18. It'll take 8 of their life. And then this will double and put them to 16 life lost. Technically, if they have infinite life, this does infinite damage because it does half of it and then it does half of it again. So at times it's by 2 and it always goes up. So they'll either end up at 0 or -1. Regardless. And then you have Unholy Annex. This is basically free card draw at the end, minus like the fact that you have to take 2 life. But if we have a demon, it then drains our opponent instead, and we gain 2 life, which is always very nice because it pays into itself. And Soulstone Sanctuary is kind of one of those cards that does it as well. Kind of new cards in here are going to be Day of the Black Sun to help pick off all the lower end stuff, and our discard outlet is going to be a lot more interesting here, with Intimidation Tactics being kind of better than Thresh right now. Turn 1, taking a Badger Mole Cub is just a very good, solid game plan for us, along with leading into our Black Sun, of course. And then Negotiation, because people are either emptying their hands very quickly, or you just want to barrel these in a slower, grindier game, is actually a little bit better, kind of using it twice in those grindy matchups. Other than that, we're just going to run it down. The one card they had in the sideboard was a Fire Nation Drill, so this is kind of the recommended card. You can obviously cut it if you don't want to craft a rare for no reason, because I don't know if it's worth playing, but who really knows? With that said, I hope you all enjoy the games we're about to play, and let's go play. All right. Here we are. A bit of an interesting hand. We're on the draw, which kind of sucks, because after yesterday's video, whether you watched it or not, I actually played 7 games in a row on the draw. And I went, or no, 9. I went 7-2. But this seems like an awful matchup if I had to give us one. A bounce effect, a tap bounce type of effect, cavern, not really going to do me much here. We probably just hold this until after they stock up, right? We've answered one. How we answer a second one, I'll never know. Yep, they flash that in. Which is okay. Obviously, that's not great for us. We could name like Assassin, go for Slasher. Maybe they miss land. That would be huge. They did. Did miss land. Okay. So it's really unlikely that they have it. We want our demon to resolve. So we're going to play a Slasher here. They do have a bounce effect, but if they stock up and just go, hope we don't have it, then they lose. Turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay, so that is definitely what they're going for here. Let's go to combat. Here. Sure. Leave on top, so most likely the top card's on land. Oh, I messed that up. Human, I guess. Not one of my brightest moments of all time. I meant to float a mana, play this, naming Demon and then play Slasher and play this after, but it's okay. I would assume they left a land on top. Maybe it was another Kona. That would make sense. It's a land. After this turn, we'll hold up Bitter Triumph pretty much forever. They don't have a way to just tap the Kona right now. They didn't play it in, so this could be... This is most likely another one of the Consult Star charts. Which a little part of me wants to play this and force them to do it. Like, force them to bounce my Slasher. Or just counter this, I guess. Which is why this is a huge mistake. We could potentially have lethal here, but we're going to miss it. Which is a bit annoying because I'm dumb, but in the turn. We want to be able to pay around something like this or like a Spell Pierce or something if they play it. And they didn't do anything. They shocked and did nothing. So that's interesting. So both of us not maybe playing the tightest games I've ever played in my entire life. I'm just getting back. I went to F&M, or not F&M, Thursday M, where I played a lot of Riftbound. I'll talk about that in a little bit. We're going to do some cuts today because I have to run and do something, so I have to cut this after. But yeah, I mean, good game overall. We move on. Oh, I get to be on the play. Nice. This hand's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad. We'll find out pretty quickly. Obviously, we need to hit a land so we can do this. But we're going to start off with Sissels, just kind of see what's up. They have $3,000 sleeves. Looks like these imitation attacks are going to be good. Or not. Okay. Ghost Vacuum we don't care about. Relic's kind of annoying. Fire Crystal I can probably pick off whenever. The Pinnacle doesn't matter that much because our Preacher will get over it. Let's take their value play away from them. Then let's let them pick what they want to get rid of on the second go around. Get rid of Ghost Vacuum. Yeah. Kind of the unfortunate part when they basically have a dead card. Maybe we should have waited on this because then maybe they would have just played Ghost Vacuum for value. Just be like, oh, well, maybe it'll do something because technically it can exile our Slashers. So they got really nothing going on. They have Pinnacle, of course. The Fire Crystals, kind of whatever, but until they play a second red, it's not a big deal. Although I probably shouldn't think that way. We're just going to put a Preacher down. They'll gain a life. That's fine. We'll hit for 2. And then we're probably looking to Tactics them. And then we'll probably have to take the Fire Crystal. But the problem is I don't think we can really beat the stuff anyway. Sure. We're definitely have a lower life. So we're only going to make a 1/1 here, which is brutal. That's fine, I guess. Get a 14. Now we're 14 all. Take a look. All dead cards. We'll take the Fire Crystal. In the turn. Unholy Annex is a card that we probably need really, really soon. Just so we can start getting like card draw in. They could do this and stun my Preacher. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. I'll remove it. I said they draw the card regardless, so it would make no sense. Now they probably just play Starting Town. No, they go with the Island. Yeah, weird. I feel like you should have just played the Starting Town. Okay. Well, this doesn't seem the greatest. I have to say so myself. Because realistically, they're going to probably play this land and play their last card. But I don't want to take the whole turn off. Just do this, I guess. Taking the entire turn off to just be like, oh, I guess I'll hold Bitter Triumph just seems bad. Yeah, especially with drawing a land there. Like, that would just be devastating to us. Thinking Star Cage, I guess. Oh, Snare's so good here. It just cleans up everything pretty easily. So we go to 12. We pass. We're going to Pinnacle now. Then we bring up Sanctuary, rip an Unholy Annex, put him to 2 or something. Or we rip a Conqueror. That'd be pretty cool. Here. Enigma Jewel's gone. They play land. Oh! Dreams do come true. Then we'll do a little bit of damage here because we have a demon. Down to 3. Dead card. Dead card. Dead card. Let's go! I finally get a game on the play in 8 games in a row. Well, 7 games on the... No, that's a lie. 10 games on the draw. That was my first game on the play in 11 games. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We'll take that. All right, we go first. Interruption. Good removal later. Yeah, I mean, this hand's pretty solid. I mean, yeah. It's gonna be a weird one. This does make everything lose all abilities, so that's pretty good against a deck like this. Bitter Triumph's also pretty awesome here. We'll just end up taking 3 damage. Unstoppable Slasher is actually really good against a deck like this because it blocks well, because it obviously trades with everything because of Death Touch. So now they can go into Tyvar. Won't be able to level this up. I think I'm going to establish a Slasher here. And then go for like an Annex or something. So go Annex on 4, maybe level it up to 5 after. Slasher is a weird one because this would technically make it lose all abilities. So like Slasher would die. So maybe we should have played this. Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, but... This is entirely unprotected, though. So let's go Deep Cavern Bat here. Let's look. Quantum Riddler. Maybe we can make them do their Archdruid's Charm. Quantum Riddler's too good when they're about to go empty-handed, I think. Maybe we can make them use their Archdruid's Charm to buy this Tyvar back, because obviously that can blow up my Unholy Annex. They don't know I have Annex yet because I haven't played it, obviously. But in a spot like this where it's going to give me a ton of value, all right, sure. I just want to go to 2. A land. So playing the... Here's a weird question. Is it not just bring this up and attack them? I think so. There's a lot of damage. That's 6 damage. Go to 3. Go to 1. I think. Yeah, so now they're at 1, and even my Deep Cavern Bat's now just lethal. It's weird, because obviously maybe making the 6/6 would make a lot of sense, but I just felt like there, it's so easy to just go for the win in that way. But against Simic / Mono Green, did really well here. So that's nice to know, obviously. Okay. I say Riddler's still a 5 drop. It doesn't go to 2. Blocks, obviously. They're gone. We just go to combat and win. So I'll let you out of the game. So we get there. Fortunately enough, didn't end up having to use the Day of the Black Sun. So that's kind of nice. When we kind of have that really good backup card for that type of matchup and we didn't even have to use it to win, you know, it just turned out pretty well enough. But yeah, we'll take it. Okay, interesting hand. We'll keep here. Tiny Bones. This is obviously like fine, but threatening Tiny Bones seems pretty good. Blue black. I think I just hold up Bitter Triumph here. Which is like the worst play if they don't do anything on this turn too. Ooh, what's that version of the deck? Okay. I'm gonna go for value here over the Slasher. We could have argued to play Slasher, but most likely they're going to be rolling into removal here. We do want more kind of direct hand disruption than kind of what we got going on right now, where this is just kind of an exile a card from their hand. Although I do think the tactics aren't not going to have a lot of targets is the only problem. Go Slasher here. Obviously the 1-mana spells for us aren't going to do all too well. Does exile, so something like a Deadly Cover-Up isn't going to be able to take everything. -2 exile. This card's still legal? I forget that. Another draw. Obviously that's pretty nice for us. -2. Yeah, they're going to be a big board wipe deck. They have 3, so they can technically Day of Black Sun and get rid of my Slasher. What a thought. Yeah. Here. Unlock. Day of Black Sun for 0. For 2 mana. Kill this. That would do it. I mean, I don't know if we have good chances to beat this deck ever, to be honest with you. But we can try our best. We just have to find the card. Oh, I'm curious. I don't think we can wait. I think we have to fully commit here. And go for as much damage as possible. Because basically we want to rip a Bloodletter here. And then slam it and deal 4, 8, 9, 10, another 4. But who's to know? Actually, I can look at my graveyard and tell you if I even have any. I have 2. So the odds are okay at finding one. It's not fantastic by any stretch. Dead card, dead card, dead card. Negotiation's like fine. They can always just remove this at any point and then win on the spot. It does feel like a matchup is going to be hard to win ever, but that's okay. The rest, sure. You shouldn't remove this until we didn't rip a Bloodletter, so we're dead regardless. It doesn't matter. Right. I mean, we're dead. I don't know why they're not letting that resolve. All right, last chance for this mono black deck for me today. I just keep running against really, really hard decks to beat, so I'm about over it at this point. This is another hard deck to beat, but I'm pretty fine here. We want to take the Higher Claw because we don't want them to have a backup creature for a Betrayal. We want to just exile the creature. But yeah, I won like 4 games in a row and then went on a massive losing streak. Got up, took a break because I was definitely tilting off the planet. And now I'm back to hopefully win some Magic the Gathering games. But this has also been happening where my opponent tanks and then blows my back out. Like, I'm going to tank a lot. And then I'm going to make it where you could never win even if you tried. And it's like, okay, thanks. So, good enough for me to do this, though. Especially with the backup one. So when they play this next turn, because they'll hit the land, I can then take it out as well. And then isolate a card, maybe. If not, it might just be Negotiation and then Deep Cavern Bat. Ooh, that's a good one. It still might just be Deep Cavern Bat Negotiation. Because obviously that's not a land. Go here. Wasn't a Hired Claw? Which one, team? Probably the double striker. As much as I hate doing it. But if they miss a land, they don't get to play that. Hold up. Alright, well. Now we're back in the saddle. Oh, Bitter Triumph's pretty good. Your Deep Cavern Bat. I take their card draw away. The turn. Obviously here will just be 3 life. Hey, land. When this creature becomes target spell, get a 1/1. Sure. Obviously they're going to target. I pay 3 life. Pick it off. Alright, cool. We drew really well, thankfully. As you'll get ready to see, I went on a massive losing streak from, I think, like midway through Plat 3 all the way down here. And it was great. So, I had a great time. Have we fully turned our gameplay experience around? We will see. Blue-white? No. Graveyard. Terror of the Peak's annoying, but we just take either Overlord or Town Greeter. And Town Greeter is like slightly worse, so it's just the Overlord, I think. And also Town Greeter becomes the creature, so we get max value off of our Strategic Betrayal. Whenever this comes in play, we get to exile it and more. So, land is good enough. Land is good enough. Town Greeter, sure. That resolves. Well, definitely grabbing a land, that's for sure. So, do we go Slasher or Preacher here? I think it's actually Preacher. Alright, well, maybe it's different now. Well, they have the Bitter Triumph. So, if I want a creature, I don't know. I have no idea. You could Bitter Triumph this, which obviously makes it a bit tough. Come on. Arden goes into the graveyard, so what does that tell us? That they probably just have the good card. And we just wait and Bitter Triumph it, I guess. Okay, it's gonna grab Arden, right? That's fine. We can just probably pay 3 here. Arden will be exiled because that's how that card works. So now we kind of bought some time. Well, I say kind of bought some time, but I don't actually know. Our mana base is about as bad as it's been all day. Let's play Unstoppable Slasher here, I guess. We need to rip a swamp. I think that Overlord's gotten us like billions of dollars in value, it feels like at this point. Here. Life total's too high. Play a Preacher then. Even if they have another one of these, it just like grabs Overlord, I guess. Combat. Here. Looks like there's something to be done here. Another Arden goes away. I don't have an instant speed removal this time. So it feels like I have to just do this now. If they rip it off the top, put an Arden into play, and just take something, where it's a game's just over. They leave. They leave on top. Let's hit their hand here. Combat. Now I can animate this up. Awaken, sure. Pretty good one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware that it comes up tapped. 6, 10. It's so close to lethal. We just take their last card. Or do we just set them to 1? I think we just set them to 1. It's a bit tragic, but it is what it is. If they go Overlord, pick that up, and then bring out a Bringer. It's a good game. Game, boss. If they had an Overlord, they could grab this back, and if Overlord would hit the Bringer, they could have won. I guess it would have reset, and we'd have got a lot of stuff back, but I don't know if we could get through. We have to like rip an Unholy Annex and then do Sanctuary nonsense, but we'll take it. On the draw before Screaming Nemesis was banned, this would be like a bag that they have a bad hand, but we'll keep now. Although I guess like the Cub deck can cause a lot of problems, but looks like we're against control, so kind of in that boat already. Unfortunately, Sissel comes down now. We'd have loved to have it a turn later or a turn earlier, so we could have, have it be attacking here. Creature's probably like the better card. And it's probably like this if it resolves, but this constantly being able to come back seems good. Oh, it's the blue-white flash deck that... Yeah, okay. Well, I feel a little bit better. This is the, like, Ang deck. I don't know about that, Chief. That seems questionable. Okay. Deal. Take a look at your hand. When this counter target spell is controller manifests dread. I'm gonna take Overlord. And then I'm going to play a Preacher so I can make creatures. So hopefully they draw bad. I don't know, like a land. How about? Okay. For sure. I'm gonna try to hit a land here. Sure. Deal. Not a land, but something to clear the only creature out of the way. Don't you dare have another one, bro. A Tidebinder is honestly a card I'm a little scared of. Shit. Dude, leave me alone. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll literally never talk to you again. Our target spell is controller manifests flash. Okay. Go to combat. I get to make a 1/1. Which weirdly blocks the Flood Pit. Creature is like so good against this card. Because it's either drawing you cards or leaving back things that can block this really well because it trades, obviously. And that's like very annoying for a card like that. I think they're deciding whether you want to go down, but then this is where like Curiosity gets hard. Sure. Go Sissel. A very annoying card in front of them. Maybe they'll flash this in, and when they do, sure. Face down one of them. So now here's the thing. They could play like a board wipe, so I think it's the best chance to resolve my Unholy Annex. Pretty good card actually in this matchup, weirdly enough. But we're just gonna block if that's available. Split up can't be cast till after. Gonna want to remove this just in case I put like a good creature under it. But we got Unholy Annex ready to go. Okay. Requisition Raid, who plays that? Yeah, my bad, bro. That's insane to me. Pick off one of the cards in your hand. Authority, sure. Pick off another card in your hand. And then, because this also seems good. Who plays this card, bro? I just can't. Back here. Not gonna give him any free value, dude. Not letting him trade off or free block. I'm just hitting him, calling it a day. A split up's bad here. Things like that. I will double block this at any point I get. I would tend to agree that the game is over. But who knows? If they haven't left, so I'm not. You ain't fooling me, bro. Okay, well, maybe the game is over. And then combat for 1,000,000. It could rip a split up here, which would cause a lot of problems. They only go to 1 here, I think. Yeah. It'd be really funny. Rip the split up, please. Oh, okay. Unfortunate. If they ripped the split up, that would have been so good. But it looks like the fortune turned around entirely after just losing 1,000,000 games in a row. I like won all of the, like I won every game and then I lost every game and then now I'm back to winning every game. It's just, wow, what an experience. Unfortunately, that's all the time I have today. I am kind of busy this week randomly. I know there a while ago I talked about not having any events, but we randomly have like a 1K plus for Riftbound, which is pretty exciting. Riftbound is the League of Legends card game. I find it very enjoyable. I actually played it tonight. When you're watching this, that would have been yesterday. I went 2-0-1. I drew with another player. They hadn't played against Kaisa all too much, and I have Kaisa. I know if you play Riftbound, you know, like, oh, you built the best deck. Look at you, forehead. Well, I just picked a champ at random when they were releasing the spoilers, and now I'm talking about like the Chinese version of them because the game comes out in China first, and then we get it like the set a couple months later, which based on how popular it is in the States, I assume they're going to try to change that we're getting the releases at the exact same time because that just makes way more sense. But it is really fun. And the person I played against, I don't think has played against Kaisa too much, and they're playing in the 1K plus summer or winter skirmish, so they were really taking the match about as seriously as they could, which I totally understand. I also agree with them taking it pretty seriously, and so we kind of had like a lot of lines and stuff we talked about during the game or after the game. So it was like one of those things. But the game is very fun. If you have not tried it, I would definitely give it a chance. It is different enough from Magic that it'll feel refreshing, and then playing that and coming back to playing Magic makes Magic feel refreshing again too. It's kind of like the thing when you play Hearthstone and whatever. But I'm going to talk about the deck now and the things I like and the things I didn't like. One, Intimidation Tactics is actually better now than Duress because of how much the lower to the end creature decks there are that this needs to be able to pick off. Like when you can turn one, play this and take their Badger Mole Cub and slow their entire turn down. We've all seen the mono green decks and how often that they kind of keep a very variant hand that is super explosive. They either need to rip the payoff or just hope you don't interact with them, and then they'll have everything ever if they get one turn with the Badger Mole Cub. So you can just do this right away, take care of that. And then Negotiation has been a little bit better than what it was previously, in my opinion. This is always a card that I feel is like a bit whack, especially when you're against red and stuff, because they just didn't care. They would just get rid of one card and then kill you anyway. But this is hitting more crucial cards now, and we're playing it a bit slower instead of just barreling it. And even all the lower to the ground decks, they're playing everything out really quickly, right? So when they do have that one card or two cards in hand, you can team it up with a tactics, like tactics them first and then play this, and it'll take both cards. Or they have to do something like answer a slasher, and then that isolates that last card. This has hit the final card in my opponent's hand a lot more often than normal, it felt like today. But other than that, I mean, Unholy Annex tends to still just be a great card. Slasher and Bloodletter are just a good combination, especially in best of one. This is a good deck. In best of three, I can find that this is going to be kind of hard to pull off just because, you know, you get more cards to interact with the combo. And like at that point, your opponent will even just play like a Rest in Peace to stop this from coming back whenever they remove it, if they're like control and stuff. But Day of the Black Sun makes the deck very interesting as well. I do feel like I want to play another copy instead of being where we're at. But they have the Fire Nation drill. This is also, I forgot to mention that. Do I still have it up? This was a list played by... Let me bring this over here and share my actual screen. Yeah, so this was a list played by this player. I don't know how to say their name. They're some ads, so you're just going to have to deal with that, I guess. But it was played by this player, and the recent variation that they had went 88 on the play and 64 on the draw, 28 and 10. So it seems to be doing pretty well, and they obviously got in the mythic with it, as you can tell from here, 91 and 55. Doing very, very well. So I wanted to try it whenever I see a mono black list doing well like that. And as I enjoy playing mono black, seems like a good time. So the list has legs, clearly. If you just grind it out and play it, you will have to make changes. I guess I don't want to pull it back over, but when they first started, they went 10 and 5. Then they went 18 and 25. So they had a pretty bad day, win rate of 42, which isn't like, that's a bad day, but 42% win rate on your bad days, because everybody in Magic, because of variance and stuff and how the game goes, you're going to have bad days. 42% is still like a good day on a bad day, if that makes sense. Like going like 20% is like a real bad day. Obviously you can go 0%, but we don't want to talk about those days. But 91 and 55 after that is very good. They're basically almost winning 2 games per one, or 62% win rate, you know. That would be 110 wins to 55 losses, but they're at 91. You never know, they'd run on another streak and they're there, right? And that is definitely a very easy way to climb, and especially the way that the lockouts work in this game mode, or unranked, for example. If you're here, if I'm on plat 4, I can lose as many games at plat 4 as I want, and then I go on a win streak, and then everything's fine, right? So yeah, all good, fine and dandy, everything looking okay. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope when you play Mono Black, it goes well for you. With that said, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.